Well, it seems like Marvel is actually still in big trouble, even more so than we recognized with the upcoming Marvel film, Captain America Brave New World. And while we've not necessarily been overly excited about the film, there hasn't been a lot of buzz. There also doesn't seem to be a lot of interest because pre sales are pretty low. And if rumors are correct, the film will only have a little bit of Red Hulk. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Captain America Brave New World and lots of disappointment with my friends, Loki, and of course, Jason from Sci-Fi for Me TV. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to see you.
Are you disappointed
Good to see you.
disappointed in your friends?
No, I'm just disappointed largely. No, wow, yeah, I guess if the AP were to title this video, that would be what it says, right? But no, I think I'm just disappointed in Marvel. Not that I had high expectations. I don't know. Did you guys have any excitement over Captain America: Brave New World?
Well, with the news of the Red Hulk, it's not surprising considering there will be 0 minutes of Captain America in Captain America Brave New World.
True story.
Uh,
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, the more I hear about it, with all of the reshoots and everything, and we've talked about this on the last video,
Yeah.
I have less and less interest in this film. And when we go back and look at the billion-dollar baby that is Deadpool Wolverine, I said at the time, one success does not a trend make. You have to have more than one in a row, one after the other, and this doesn't look like it's going to be it. So I think Marvel is still scrambling to try to find a win past Deadpool Wolverine. This is not going to be the one.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if you look at the story coming to us from That Park Place, Red Hulk is featured for only 5 minutes. 5 minutes. This is all you've been seeing in advertisements, right? You've been seeing a lot of Red Hulk and lots of Falcon with Cap shield. You've been seeing a lot of that. You haven't been seeing much else. So I guess social media is on fire here with that rumor. It's going to have less than 5 minutes of time. Red Hulk's and they made it look like Harrison Ford. We'll get to some of the weird CGI in a moment, but if true, this is going to basically be a decent bait and switch, according to Marvin over at That Park Place by Marvel Studios. And I will say that's all they do is bait and switch. We thought we were going to get a Doctor Strange 2. We did not. Mom was not even about Doctor Strange. He became a secondary or tertiary character in his own film. This isn't a surprise. Red Hulk is the most dominant part of the advertising campaign and nowhere to be seen after the 5 minutes he's in there. That's pretty wild. So, yeah, first of all, obviously Marvin wants to stress it's a rumor, but I have no reason to think it isn't real. The claim was shared on X by account We Love Physical Media. Well, we do. And here's the terrible Hulk face.
Culture. It looks like Scorpion King returns.
Yeah,
They've tried to make him look like kind of like Bruce. There's that look back where you're like, oh look, it's the Hulk, it's the Bruce Banner Hulk, but it's not because it looks like Harrison Ford kind of. This is sloppy. No wonder there's only 5 minutes. If that is true, this is why there are only 5 minutes of this, is because it looks horrible.
well, and look, the argument probably to be made is that they've literally shot this film at least 4 times over. For once, at one time they just shot a whole new film, but they did so many significant reshoots. Obviously, pickups, more reshoots. They did reshoots in December. Um, when you look at this, you don't want to have to reanimate Hulk like a zillion times if you've got to just patchwork a film together, which is what it sounds like they're doing.
Well, and I'm wondering if the original film had more of him in there, and that's why we got a lot of it in the marketing. But I think also the we're seeing Harrison Ford is in this movie, and Harrison Ford's going to do Red Hulk, and I think the novelty of that is what they're counting on as a hook to get people in, because it's Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford doesn't do the silly bits like this. He's never done this kind of thing before. It's going to be unique to his career. And he's even said, they paid me money to be silly. He's not taking it seriously. But I have to wonder if Red Hulk was originally supposed to be in it longer than what we're getting now with all of the reshoots and the re-edits and the new story. As far as the CGI quality, remember the last how many years where a lot of this stuff has shipped overseas now,
Right.
and we don't even have as much in the way of CG talent in the United States anymore because of clients like Marvel coming in and saying, "Give us 12 different options, and we'll pick whichever one we like the best." And you end up wasting so much time and money, and it's not worth the effort.
Loki, do you think if this is true and if Hulk looks not so great in CGI, or Red Hulk, excuse me, Thaddeus Ross's Red Hulk, do you think that this basically indicates that the next several films are just going to be garbage until we get to whatever these Doom films are?
Almost all the ones up to this have been garbage since Endgame. It's just been, yeah, we had Deadpool and Wolverine, but give me a bright spot besides that. You've got Eternals, which was horrible. You've got these series which have been horrible. The Loki series was horrible. My namesake ruined for all time because Disney just can't get a show right. It's maddening when you used to care about this. You used to care about the content. You used to care about the universe. You cared about all the characters. Now they're going to do this. We heard when they did Odin, he was absolutely unhappy. He was like, they stuck me in a green room and told me to just talk to myself. I didn't even know what was happening half the time. If that's the way they treat their legacy actors and the people that they're like, oh, hey, everybody's going to love it if you come and do this. If they're all just like, oh, it was boring, or oh, I had to do this, or oh, I had to stand in a green room, and it's not really acting, it's this. Honestly, how are you going to keep developing these movies and keep giving the audience something that they're going to want to come back and get more and more of? You're not.
Well,
That's it.
okay, so from the article itself, and these are my sentiments, so I'm just going to read what's here. So the posters and all the marketing so far has been emphasizing Red Hulk showdown with Sam Wilson's Falcon holding Cap's shield, to the action-packed teaser footage, which I still think was weak. The marketing has set up expectations that Ross's transformation would play a pivotal role in the story. So if his appearance is limited to just a few minutes, fans may feel misled by the studio. Of course they will. So will I. In fact, they've been minimizing Falcon Cap on the posters of late. In fact, they don't even show his face in one of them. I imagine that one's going to be the one going to China. But if his appearance is limited to those few minutes, this is going to make fans angry again. This is a constant mislead because Marvel is always trying to force their identity politics into things. And we'll get to that here in a moment. But the short runtime is the thing that is going to also impact fans at 118 minutes. If you walk out of there, you got 5 minutes of Red Hulk. You got a bunch of characters you don't care about. You have a storyline that is nonsensical and continuities all over the place because this is a patchwork film. I mean, 4.2% of the movie is the entire appearance time. I don't know. That seems off-putting to me. Do you think, there'll be some kind of fan revolt, or do you think that'll be a heavy criticism?
Well, that assumes how many people are going to show up to watch it in the first place.
Yeah, Loki.
I think it'll be a criticism, but it's not anything that's not already happening. They have constantly been fumbling this. Yes, we had a great film with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman with Deadpool and Wolverine, but that was their film, and it was kind of like an end to one era and walking into another era, and they had carte blanche to do what they wanted. This is a totally different ball of wax. It's not like he's gonna go in there and say, "Hey, I want this to happen. I want this to go down like this." He has no say. So the lead of the film and Ford have no say in how any of this goes down. It's all up to the writers, and the writers have been disappointing. I'm sorry, Disney, but your writers are disappointing. You've got a whole crew, you've got a committee that controls this stuff now. You need to get back to letting creators create and people telling their stories instead of making a movie by committee.
Well, and here's the tonal problem, right? Is that Marvel has proved as a studio that it's willing to outright lie to the audience when it feels the need to. So the promotional trailers for the Marvels featured original lines recorded by Josh Brolin as Thanos, despite the fact that the Mad Titan appears nowhere in the actual movie. So you have all of these things that are being done that are being hyped up to fans that they don't actually follow through on. The film is a hot mess. They're still on these numbers 350 to 375, which I think we've talked about just how ridiculous that is for a film. But I keep hearing higher numbers than that on the actual spend on this film. And we're not even to marketing. We're not even including marketing yet. So if this film doesn't actually get over $1 billion, it may not have a prayer of breaking even after marketing. That's how insane this is. Okay, here's the last picture of Harrison
That
Ford
looks
Hulk.
just so bad. It looks so bad. I would expect that from like a PS2 or PS3 game, not from Disney.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't even look. It doesn't have the cinematic look and feel of something that's realistic, right?
Right.
There's nothing there. So when you go and you look at the pre-sale numbers, it's supposedly tracking only 1.4 times better than the Marvels, which flopped spectacularly. And it's also kind of down there in the bottom of the rankings of all pre-sales for movie film for Marvel films. So it's on par with the Eternals, which flopped spectacularly, didn't make any money at all. In fact, lost money, especially after marketing and split. Film only had a $236 million budget, and you hear I just said only to two hundred
Oh,
thirty six million. I I
Well,
I don't know. I mean, the production problems and audience fatigue, those are real things, right? I mean, tell me a Marvel film. Tell me a Marvel film, and I'm going to take the article off. Tell me a Marvel film that you're looking forward to. I dare you.
I'm cautiously interested in Thunderbolts, but not optimistic. I'll qualify it that way. It looks like they might be making an effort to just do not necessarily kind of like a Suicide Squad, but just let's just throw some stuff in and mix it up and have some fun. I don't know that that's going to succeed, and I don't know about audience fatigue. I think the superhero fatigue thing has been a drum that people have been beating in the trades for a couple of years now. I don't think fans are fatigued with these movies in terms of just the superhero films, the DC films, and the Marvel films. I think they're fatigued with bad stories. I think if they get a good story, and if Captain America 4 delivers a really good, solid story after all of the fixes and everything, then 5 minutes of Red Hulk might not be a bad thing. But I don't think it all comes down to the story, whether it's the writers or fix it in post in the editing or whatnot. Um, I don't know that Marvel has got their hands on anything that's going to work that way. We'll see. I like what James Gunn has said. We're not going to greenlight anything until we have a script that everybody's happy with, like a full script that's done. Which
Oh, on this film, Mackie explicitly said they didn't have a script. They were shooting
yeah,
without a script. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know
and
how
that's
you do
always
that.
it's always a bad idea.
Yeah,
well,
and
they've done that before. They've done that before where they're like, oh, we just started and we've only got 20 pages of the script, and they start with 20 or 30 pages. I've heard those stories before, but never like, oh, this was a huge blockbuster victory of epic proportions. It's a rushed mess.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
and I know it's
always a rushed mess. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
and no, you're fine. I look. I know it's only a rumor, but it's entirely believable that they've lied to the audience once again, and there's only a minimal amount of Red Hulk in this film. There's going to be a lot of people that weren't supposed to be in this movie featured in this movie. There were going to be people that were supposed to be in this movie that are not in this movie. That I'm telling you right now, this is
How much of
a
it?
hot
Let
mess.
me ask you this though, just to play devil's advocate for a minute. How much of it do you think is Marvel lying to people, as opposed to the marketing not keeping up with all of the changes in the film itself? Because like we talked about the other time with Wonder Woman 84, for example, you had all of this, cross promotion, the merchandise, and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the chip bags and all that
Everything
stuff.
that
All
went
of
out
that
months
stuff
before
came
the
out,
film released. Yeah.
yeah, and the film got delayed and it didn't come out. So it's the coordination between the actual production and everything surrounding it in terms of marketing and promotion. How much of this is, we've already got all of the advertising, all of the promos are cut, all the trailers are cut, and yet now we got to go back and reshoot because people don't like what we've got, and we've got to reshoot again to fix, and we got to reshoot again to fix.
Well, I mean,
It could very well be that they're just like, hey, we've already got the trailers and the promos. That's extra work, which is going to cost us money we
but
don't have anymore.
but this is the well. Here's the problem, though. You can now effectively sue a studio if they put something in a teaser, a trailer, or a promo that isn't in the film,
Yeah,
because that's false advertising.
right.
It's coming.
And I'm not saying that to justify what's coming, but I'm just saying, what if they're just not bothering with changing the marketing, changing the promos, because they're all of that stuff already done, and they're still trying to make the movie work. Because that's got to be your priority, right? You got to finish the movie
Well,
because
I'm just.
you've got an opening date, you've got a time it's going to be on screens, whether you're ready with it or not. I mean, look, that's what they did with Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Well,
The edit, the sound mix, and effects were done.
I watched a wet copy of
Yeah,
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. The
I
sound
did
was
too.
garbled and garbage in the theater. So let's set that aside, though. Let's talk in reality, since now digital transfer is how all these things happen anyway. So with this particular film, they could edit it right up to the very moment, but they better have put their, they better have accurate advertising with their marketing. So everything that we've seen better be in the picture, or people are going to be mad. The problem is that we've seen an awful lot of Red Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
If they gave us all the Red Hulk for the most part already, absent a couple of like 15-second long, like, actions, segments, I think people are going to be disappointed. But hey, that's not for me to decide. Gentlemen, last words on this. Are audiences going to be frustrated at another bait and switch? Do you believe this rumor to be true?
I think that they've got a problem. I think that the problem is evident. You've spent too many times going over this over and over and over again. Rewrites, reshoots, remakes, re Americas. They've got to. They've Disney's got to get its crap together. No more of this making a movie by committee. It'll never happen because that's just the way they do things now. But you need to get rid of that. You need to let whoever the filmmaker is make their movie and give it to people and see what they think. It's got to be $1 billion hit. Guess what? Every time you go after that $1 billion hit, you're hurting yourselves and shooting yourselves in the foot because that's all you can focus on. Give the people what they want and give them the kind of movie they want, and people will keep coming to your movie. If not, do it that with what you want.
I think the people who are concerned as to whether or not this is a bait and switch are not going to show up and watch it anyway. I think the people who do show up to watch it are not going to care about any of it because they don't, they're not like us. They're not paying attention to all of the behind the scenes and the inside baseball. And what, oh, hey, it's a Marvel movie. It's a Captain America movie. Let's go see it. And they may come out of there disappointed, but they're not as invested in it as some of us might be. I mean, we're not invested in it from a creative standpoint. We're invested in it because we're covering the story. This is what we do. But, the box office is going to be lower. I'm predicting, they were saying box office opening weekend domestically was going to be somewhere between 85 and 96. I don't think it's even going to get 82. I think they're going to adjust those estimates lower the closer we get to March or February 14th.
And they have been marching them down slowly, to be fair. So, but hey, folks, what do you think? I mean, you heard our thoughts on this. Do you think this is a real valid rumor? Do you think this could end up being, 4.2% of the movie, 5 minutes of the film? Do you think that there's a chance that Red Hulk appears more? Is there any hope for this film being profitable? Is it going to open, above the estimates or below them? Those are questions I would have you ask as the wonderful audience that you are. So down in the comments section below, let us know what you think. In fact, hit the thumbs up button while you're down there. Double check that you're still subscribed to the channel and turn the notifications bell on if it isn't already. And on that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya for real.